I got suspended for drinking milk. What does that even mean? How did that happen? What does that entail? It was a Friday, the Friday before February break, and there was this Valentine's Day rally where the Associated Student Body put this like weird presentation together where people would play tug of war and they'd make dumb jokes, and there was this pretty cool Bollywood dance at the end, but I didn't know about that at the time. Since it's mandatory, most people who go don't even want to be there. I mean, I'm not saying the rally's bad. I'm just like, if you want people to genuinely enjoy your rally, why would you make it mandatory? Just let people go if they want to go. And if they want to go, then they'll have fun, right? But anyways, it was this mandatory rally during tutorial, and for whatever reason, our teacher was chill enough to let my friend and I stay. So my friend had this carton like this big of almond milk. It was like a quarter gallon. No protein though, so unfortunate, but he got it for Valentine's Day, I think, from his friend. Um, and he was just like drinking the milk because you can't just let some good almond milk go to waste, right? So he and I, we were just outside, like drinking. He was drinking the milk, and I asked if I could have some because there's no way you can drink that much milk, right? So he let me waterfall some. So then he and I were just passing this milk back and forth, just waterfalling it, and I don't know why. I thought it was just funny, like this is pretty absurd, right? That I'm just here with this guy Friday before break, and we're just waterfalling almond milk. In the moment, I don't even know why. I just thought like this would be so much more entertaining if I was drinking this milk on the field. It's one of those random, spontaneous, and just stupid ideas that make like zero sense. It's like almost in like a dream, like dream logic. Like, why the fuck would I go to the field to drink this milk? I don't know. And something about that idea just enticed me. I was like, huh, what would happen? Like, let me just test this life thing, and I don't know. It's like part of it was definitely attention seeking. And like, I thought like, it'd be pretty funny if I was just drinking milk and everyone just saw me drinking milk for no reason. And like, like, speaking to my friend about it, he's like, yeah, that's hilarious, go do it. So that was definitely part of it, but I feel like the majority of it, like, what really got me going was like, huh, what would happen? Like, this is a weird ass situation, a nonsensical one, like a completely absurd situation, but like, so? So without really thinking about it too much, I just walked down to the field for like a good solid few minutes. Just walking, just looking at this milk and just thinking like, wow, I'm alive right now. I am here in this world, about to just drink milk next to this performance. And I remember just feeling so like present in the moment. Like I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was just looking at this milk, at the clear skies. It was a beautiful day that day, and walking toward this field to drink milk. You know? It's like when I say it out loud, it just sounds so like dumb and nonsensical, but I feel like most things in life are dumb and nonsensical. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. Let me just finish the story. So I walked to the field, and I just walk like directly next to these performers and just stand there, and I'm just drinking milk. Like the performers, they obviously notice, but they like sort of laugh, but then they just like get back to what they're doing. The audience is like confused as fuck, and like they're just like in awe and like laughing. And meanwhile, I'm just here like, damn, bro, I'm in this moment right now. I'm about to just drink milk for no reason, like in front of the entire school. And I was just drinking this thing, just standing there, just gulping it down. I actually ended up finishing the milk at the end, but I was just drinking it and just looking around, like just looking at the sky, and like the performers like were right there, and like the audience and like the teachers, and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? But not in like a bad way. Like it didn't stress me out. It kind of excited me. I'm like, this is happening. Like I am here. This is such a like, what the fuck is this? But I am here, right? I felt so alive, you know? And so I just continued to drink this milk for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes I'm just drinking this milk. Like the performance is just going on over there. The audience is still like confused, and I'm just drinking milk for like 10 minutes before finally an administrator just walks by and is like, "Hey, are you in this performance?" And I was like, "Yeah, they needed a milkman." I don't know why I lied about that. Okay, I just thought it was funny in the moment, so I was like, "Yeah, they needed a milkman." Like, who the fuck needs a milkman? But apparently, she took it seriously. She thought they actually needed a milkman. So she walks back. I guess she tells like the teachers like, "Oh no, he's part of the performance." And then the assistant principal comes up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just drinking." Like he has this like, you know when your parents are like really mad at you for something? It just reminded me of that. You know, like I just immediately felt shook, you know? Maybe you're an adult right now and you don't really relate to this too much, but I don't know what it is. I feel like it's this weird childhood like programming that when an authority figure is mad at you for doing something wrong, that you immediately just like cower and like put yourself down here and like you're wrong and like this guy's right, and immediately like I just felt it. I was like, shit, this guy hates me. Like like I've barely spoken to this man ever, and he's coming towards me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Drinking milk." And he's like, "Are you supposed to be here?" I'm like, "No." And then he's like, "Oh, so you lied about that?" I was like, "Shit." I was like, "No, I was just joking." And he's like, "Oh, just joking." And I was like, he was asking me all these questions about like, "Oh, so why'd you do this? Why are you disrupting our performance? Why are you disrespecting all these performers who put so much work into their dances?" And I'm like, "Shit, I didn't really think about it like that." And he's like, "Oh, really? You didn't think about it like that? Oh, you're telling me you're just drinking milk, huh? You're telling me you didn't think at all about this audience and the performance." And like he was placing all these external assumptions on me. Like he's putting me in this box about like who he thought I was based off this one thing. And like I'm not gonna lie, like the only thing I felt in that situation was just stress. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this guy yelling at me? I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong. And so he's basically just like telling me off about like how this is not okay, how I should not be doing this, how I'm like spitting in the face of everyone who like went into the put some work into this rally. And so after he's like, oh, by the way, the first thing he did was like he took my milk, like after he realized I wasn't part of the performance, he took my milk just from my hands, and he just like fucking he like fucking yeeted that shit, like fucking like football threw that shit into the trash. And like that was kind of disrespectful. Like I feel like it's America, right? I could probably sue the guy for it, but whatever. I was finished with the milk at that point. So anyways, he walks me all the way to his office, and then in his office, he just continues telling me off, like, in a bit calmer of a tone, but he's still like, don't you understand? Like, what you did is wrong. Don't you realize that you shouldn't be doing these things? You're a junior. You should be older than this. You should, like, all these things, like, you should be. And I don't know why, but like the way he like kept berating me over and over again about how I was wrong, it genuinely had me thinking that I was wrong. Like, bro, I am in the wrong here. I just ruined this performance. Like, these dancers put so much work into this performance, and I just ruined it. Like, that's genuinely what I was thinking. That's what this fucking administrator guy genuinely had me thinking. Like, I should probably journal more about this. Like, man, authority figures, like, they just have this way of, like, why do we listen to them? Why do we, I don't know. Okay, that's not part of this. Anyways, he calls my parents, and then he gives me a 1-day suspension. And he's like acting like I got off the hook easy. He's like, but you should be happy that this is only a 1-day suspension for what you did. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I did get off the hook easy. Like, he genuinely had me convinced that I got off the hook easy for getting a suspension for drinking milk. I mean, to be fair, the 1-day suspension is not on my record, which, you know, thank God. Like, I would actually fight that if it went on my record. That's just so dumb. But, and it was the day before spring break, so I basically just got early vacation. But anyways, he sends me home. He calls my parents. My parents are obviously, like, pissed. Like, because they're just like, I'm sure if they saw the situation, they'd be laughing, but they just heard about it from this principal, so they're just like, why would you do that? Why would you get suspended over something so stupid? Don't you have, like, any sense about, like... So far, all I've heard about this situation is... All I've heard from about the situation is this assistant principal and my parents, and they're just berating me about how what I did was wrong. So I remember I got home, and after, like, getting told off and grounded for a week by my parents, I just went to my room, and I just sort of felt like shit. I just felt guilty. I just felt, like, overwhelmed. And, yeah, I just felt like shit. I was like, wow, why'd I do that? You know, like, what is wrong with me? Why'd I do that? But it was more of, like, coming from, like, an emotional sense, not, like, a logical, like, what I did was actually wrong. So the first thing I did was I wrote an apology email to the one who set up the rally. Then I, like, texted all of the Bollywood dancers, and they're all, like, my friends, because, like, I know all of them. Like, in this really, like, I was being, like, really, like, kind of a bitch about it. Like, I had this energy, like, I was this, like, subservient, like, ant. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, you know, ruin your performance or take away from your performance. And, like, that's really not what my intention was. I was just trying to be funny, but I guess it was stupid and I shouldn't have done that. So, later during what would be lunch at school, my friends call me on Discord, and they have this entirely different perspective, obviously. But at the time, it just felt so, like, wait, what? Like, they were like, dude, that was hilarious. That was great. Like, no one gives a shit about that rally, and that was by far the best rally we've seen. And you should not have been suspended for that. That's so dumb. Like, and then I was like, wait, yeah, you're right. Why the fuck was I suspended for that? And then, like, we were joking about it, and, like, it was, like, this, like, hilarious thing, and I was like, wait, yeah, no, I did just get suspended for drinking milk. And then I'm so grateful for that, because I'm so grateful for that call, because I was really, like, losing it, like, beating myself up about this. Not even, like, because I did anything wrong, but simply because, like, these 3 authority figures had yelled at me about it. And I was, like, beating myself up about it. And then my friends call me. Now I zoomed out, you know? I was like, wait, hold up. I just got suspended for drinking milk. For drinking milk, I got suspended. And what's worse is that when that the person who set up the rally wrote back to me. She said like, "Oh, no worries, don't do that again. But maybe next time be a part of the rally." So like, she didn't really care that much. She basically said what any rational human being would have said, which is like, "Yeah, don't do that again." And then the Bollywood dancers, they all texted back to me like, "Oh no, dude, that was hilarious. Like, it was no big deal at all." Like, one of them told me like, we were really nervous before getting up on to perform, but that thing you did was like so hilarious that like we kind of forgot and like it helped us. And like, I was like, wait, so if the performers weren't hurt, if the audience had a great time, and if the one who set up the rally doesn't really care that much, who got hurt? Who got hurt by this? By me drinking milk? No one! Obviously. Like, it's crazy how far into my head I got. Just because this fucking assistant principal who has, like, nothing better to do with his time. Like, imagine being an assistant principal for a high school, and your job, what you think is necessary, is to just berate this child and give him a suspension and, like, spend your entire morning dealing with this kid because he drank milk. Who are you, bro? Who the fuck are you? Do you have no aspirations? Do you have nothing better to do with your life? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I understand, like, obviously I shouldn't have been up there. Like, he should have just come up and be like, "Hey, could you get off the field?" And I would have gotten off the field. But no! He acted like I had just killed someone. Like, this man literally acted like I had just, like, fucked his wife. Like, bro, calm the fuck down, bro. I know you have all this random, useless, like, pent-up anger from, like, your shitty life, but, like, Jesus Christ, man. Okay, that was a bit far. That was a bit mean. I don't really know this guy's life at all, but I just, like, dude, really? You have nothing better to do? Come on, bro. But anyways, yeah. So afterwards, like, a long time after, not a long time, but a few hours afterwards, I really started to, like, think about what I just done and you know, why I did it and what I learned from this random ass situation. None of it mattered. Like, at most, sometimes people will walk up to me in the halls and just be like, "Oh, you're the guy who drank milk, right?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." But besides that, everyone forgot, like, within a few days, and my life went back to normal. Like, nobody cares. And I realized, like, there's all this pressure to act a certain way, to not, you know, to, like, conform to people's expectations of you, what you think they want from you, and not be seen as, like, a weirdo or, like, an egotistical person or an insecure person or all these, like, things like, "Oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't." And I find that that type of thinking, you have to actively fight against it because it's not gonna get you anywhere, and in reality, none of it matters. Like, nobody actually cares, and the people who do, who the fuck cares about them? Who cares about their opinions, right? So every once in a while, I think you do have to do something, like, nonsensical or absurd. Like, as long as it's not hurting anyone. Just, like, you have to test the boundaries, you know? Like, do something different. Just do things for the sake of doing them. Like, if you find something's uncomfortable, maybe just try doing it. Okay? Because it's not gonna matter later, right? None of it matters. Like, that's a different video, but high school does not fucking matter. Like, at all. obviously the lessons you learn from high school will very much matter, but high school itself, who cares? Like, okay, but yeah. I hope I wasn't too rambly in this video. This is my first time without a script or like even like a sense of where I'm going with this video. I hope it wasn't too long and incoherent. I don't know if I'll make videos like this again. I don't really know. I haven't really found my style yet, so I'm just gonna like do whatever the fuck I want for now. Or maybe that's my style. I don't know.